we can stop at points so that your mom, can kind of, like right now, like if you just want to give like a quick overview of the, I talked about the 4 product categories and it's a difference.
지금 카르노가 제일 여기에 관심이 든 이유가 이 3가지의 제목 이게 있어서 그런 거야. health, 건강과 이 무게 조절과 그 코스메틱하고 green 집안에 하는 거. 이 4개까지가 있으니까 이 회사 안에 회사가 4개 있는 거하고 똑같은 거야. 하나가 싫으면 또 다른 거지. 분야가 이렇게 다양하다.
You translated fast.
Been doing this for a while.
So, to me, what was impressive was the quality was always the best when I looked at the 4 product categories. So, the quality was always the best, and the support, the marketing support materials are also first class, because I went in there, today doing a lot of stuff on the Green Project between yesterday and today. There are presentations, PowerPoints, everything laid out. So each of the 4 product categories has a lot of support material to allow us to run it. If one person wants to focus on something, they can. So this was very strong, if you wish to translate to your mom.
퀄리티는 최고고 퀄리티 따라서 그 support, 그 information 자료들 여기 이 다양한 분야 자료들이 풍부해서 이야기하기 좋아요.
Okay, so all of that, I loved. Okay, now with Shaklee 180, this is what has happened. Our weight management has always been known as Cinch, and we have clinical studies and research and data. So this was Cinch, and it has always been number 2. If this was number 1, this was number 2. This one always goes back 3 and 4, 3 and 4. But what the company wants to do now is they want to go ahead and take this and make it number 1, and this will become number 2. Okay, the reason why is because of the awareness in the marketplace right now. This is where Roger Barnett was very smart right now. There's so much awareness to obesity and being overweight, and the reality is that if you reduce the weight, you're going to take care of a lot of the problems that are over here. So, yeah, you're going to go, so, there's a shift to make this number 1 because of the market awareness right now. You see, if Shaklee wanted to spend $1 billion on advertising, or $3 billion, or $5 billion, if Shaklee came up with a brand new product, and they wanted to create market awareness to the need of the product, there's not enough money. You could call it $10 billion, and you cannot create the awareness that we have right now on weight management. There's programs on television, Weight of the Nation, Food Matters, all kinds of different, that's been created, third party, that takes this into consideration, that makes it the biggest potential market, especially because 2 out of every 3 people are either overweight or obese. Now, I know not in the Korean community, not in the Cambodian community, but if you take it general, all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the world, people are getting bigger. Here in the United States, when you take a look at the Korean community in the United States, for the most part, it's a lot of first generation. Well, but you're different. But a lot of first generation and second generation, like yourself, you still have a lot of the good eating habits, because when you even look at Mexico, if you look at the older people, and then you take a look at some like the middle generation, they still have good eating habits. It's the fast food and the processed foods that has come into existence really 70s, 80s, 90s. The people that are in here, 2000, these are the ones that are suffering today. And so that's why it's such a big 2/3, you know, the baby boomers. You know, you take a look at the baby boomers, and then also, you know, some of the Generation X, but mostly the baby, that's the huge market, and that's the market that's been affected the most by the processed foods. And so anyways, when I looked at this, it made sense. When I got started with Shaklee, there was a little bit of not uniformity. You know, we were missing uniformity because people, some would be doing this, 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 and this. What Shaklee's trying to do today, they are trying to create uniformity, and they're saying, what is the biggest market? Biggest market is this weight management. Let's put it over here, and let's create uniformity. I think it's smart. I think it's very, very smart on behalf of Roger Barnett. So that's number one. That kind of gives you history. That kind of brings it to where it is. And there is resistance. Because whenever you have a company that's 55 years old, many people built their product, their company right here, their income right here. Many people built their income right here. And people are slow to change, okay? But the timing is also perfect right now. Compensation plan is only 2 years old. Roger Barnett now has credibility with the people who were 55 years ago when they started. So he's built credibility. Okay, new compensation plan, market awareness, so the timing is absolutely perfect. Okay, so bringing all of that together, he goes to Shaklee 180, rebranding, because again, he learned from the mistake of Get Clean. When the products were on Oprah, 5 times were on Oprah 1 year, but nobody still knew Shaklee. Okay, so he says, okay, let me learn. Right now we call it Cinch. Let's go Shaklee 180. If we create awareness, okay, Shaklee 180, because now, whenever if people are taking Shaklee weight management products, now they hear Shaklee Natural Beauty, Shaklee Health and Nutrition, you know, it's already trusted. So all of this has been very, very smart, the way it's been put together, okay? So let's talk about Shaklee 180 right now then, okay?
뭐 나름 다 들었어. 끝에쯤에 뭐
영어 강의 되는
little bit hearing.
English lesson while at it, you know.
Yeah, one of the things that I believe is very true is that when we're communicating, if we slow down a little bit, and then also when I use words, see, my Spanish is Spanish I learned from home. I moved to the United States when I was 5 years old. So I've never went to school in Mexico. I've never studied Spanish formally. And so the Spanish that I know is Spanish that I learned at home from my mom. And so it's very simple Spanish. And what I learned was that because it's very simple, but formal enough, no slang or anything like that, anyone could understand me. But when I started working with many different groups, I learned that if I use English that I'm taught at the university, you know, and I hated English at school anyways, if I use very, you know, complicated, sophisticated words, people do not understand. But if I use simpler words, you know, people understand because everyone is learning English and you learn simple before you go to complicated. And so I always use very simple words. One, because I hate complicated words. Two, because it's just easier for people to understand me. So